Why are they? Why are
That's so.
organized
That's
mulligans being
actually
used
how
for
it
that?
works. It's always like this. It consumes the card that you mulligan. It's not a new thing, I promise.
I must have not been paying attention to any mulligans before. So we see a Ruckus Swarm to start off with. Do we have Hive Mind access? It does not look like it. Bit of a leader, sprints and boots. Always nice to have the Sheldon Skags in your starting hand if you are playing Invigorate. Curious to see when that will end up coming down. Double leader even. Also curious if it will be a round one Dana threat. Which it is. Now this is very easy to either Heatwave for Ugadai or just play out your Sayaquan. But if you want to Sayaquan, you will have to commit some number of leaders to do so. So yeah, Sanvanter sort of saying, okay, if you want to efficiently answer this, you're going to have to give up some of your leaders here. So I kind of play a portion of a couple of my leaders, whereas you have to play 2 out of your 5 leader charges.
Yeah. That's nice flexibility. I love the rework on the Sark one. It doesn't go into every deck. Like sometimes we had things, for example, what was it? Regis High Vampire, I think, being very efficient answer to engines like 3-4 years ago. But decks that do swarm, especially the AQ having the flexibility of leader charges, I love that. Rework of a card that was dead for so long outside of, well, meme uses when it was just buff itself. Not ideal or creature breeding value obtained here. Sadly, sometimes you just overdo it. But I mean, it's still played for 6 points onto your side of the board, 7 with the handbuff, so fair for the Gwent standards of 2021, probably.
Yeah, and if I'm being fair, the Treant category is also quite valuable, especially with poison package. You're not playing the Weeping Willow. This is the only Treant. It's whole own category in terms of harmony triggers. Eating the Night Wraith here on the Dragon Warrior, able to spawn even more rats, getting ahead as well. So if need be, we might see this Naglfar's crew into Lara Doran. Not killing a 1 power unit there. Maybe a bit of a low roll on that Berserker, unfortunately.
Okay, we do see Simas coming in here. Any archer rolls?
Interesting.
Double archer rolls, maybe?
Very aggressive.
That's no damage.
Yeah.
Well, at least there is one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Berserker removes another one. How big of a Laradoran it is, anyway? What? 11 units on the board. Forces. A couple of leader charges. This is not a point gap that you should be afraid of.
No. And it's very late Waters of Rough on here. That's yeah, gotta be maybe wishing you had played that a bit earlier now, let's just say.
To be fair, it was mostly elves. Where you might have expected it to come down, but yeah, this is very awkward from Sanvanter and for Sanvanter. I guess he senses that with no last say against Tatterwing Morwood, he doesn't stand a chance, but it works out. Sure, he did invest a lot in those 2 turns. Maybe didn't trade anything unexpected.
I'm
Gets
not
a win.
convinced the last save matters that much in this matchup, but more so the round control.
Yeah, that's what I kind of mean. That well, the big finishers are there. You are getting bled out of your scenario most likely in round 2, and then you have one big bird against another big bird that is a Tatterwing with a side dish of more wood. So probably would not be ideal.
Yeah, the bird is basically always going to be smaller than both Tatterwing and Morvid, so you better get ahead sort of otherwise in this game. And you might think, oh, Pavka's gonna suck in this matchup because Ugadai can just drown her on the cheap. But we see that if you want to do that, you need to use Naglfar, find the decree.
Tutoring for tutors is always amazing, yeah.
Yeah. But also, even if you do move the Pavka, the Harmony will still be active because the Harmony portion is not range locked.
It's actually curious with the technical difficulties. I only apparently lost the stream in on Twitch, but not on YouTube, so this is another bait for people to go and follow on YouTube. You can watch the VODs there, but the stream is also happening on both platforms. Maybe that's actually putting internet to test. But yeah, hopefully no more technical difficulties.
Maybe Skags is gonna try to be what Sanvanter uses to trade decently into this Morvid. But it's very rough.
Yeah, so I don't... Well, there is probably no Lara Doran in round 3 anyway.
Yeah.
As in a good value, although there is of course still Hive Mind and you can get a kill with Naturals. Nah, not really.
I mean, Hive Mind into like the hash thing to start with, it's not half bad. Also, I'm not even sure how you fully proc the Hive Mind at this point for Ugadai.
Yeah. Well, the sports are there, right? Yeah. That's not ideal. So is Sanvanter happy calculating all the potential swarms?
I don't think it's that great of a trade if you commit either card here.
Okay, decides
because we'll likely just see this the second Lara Doran coming through, and this should catch up very easily. And as you said, it probably wouldn't have been that great next round regardless. But it still would have been not bad.
Okay, so Skags is the carry over for round 3, Handbuff to 13 power, didn't what, 6 damage? What's his base nowadays? 6, so 7 damage.
Yeah, it's 7 damage. This is a 20-point play. This Morvid is only at 15, so it's worth more than the Morvid, frankly.
And you got the Tatterwing out of your opponent with that breach.
So these draws for Ugadai. Keeping the odd gate, finds red riders.
It's very frosty and insta forfeit.
Yeah, I think you could even call that frustrating.
Oh, how good is Lemon, guys? You should really go and spam Lemon in chat. So you have Draug in the final of this qualification. You have Pavetta, but not the Blue Stripes commanders. And it's Bounty. Okay, yesterday it was very well played. I enjoyed the game a lot. Between Archie and Sanvanter, let's see how it goes. With Ugadai, he is running more removal in that Leo, so maybe that influences the outcome.
think, yeah, if Sanvanter feels confident with the bounty into both this Toussaint list and the self-wound, then it's a very good cue on the blue coin here. So to start with,
Engine.
Looks like some light reading.
not deciding to go on interactive like we saw in the previous bounty game against
Yeah, but this engine was doomed to be killed. Not buffing whatsoever, just one bounty graveyard card into a damage and collecting the bounty. Well, somebody wants to go to Passiflora. I guess it's, yeah, also Ugaдай Кто translates into guess who, so yeah, it should have been guess who wants to go to Passiflora, rolling all the licensed actresses and Passiflora peaches. We do see a full city coming in here, and well, Nilfgaardian Knight starts buffing it. Next buffs, well, Ale of Ancestors you probably would want for later. Well, yeah, the Nilfgaardian Knights into bounty, all the power buff for the card, and if there is enough money on bounty side, yeah, that's a freebie to collect. 9 power.
Look, even if the Knight boost from the deploy Toussaint landed on the Knight rather than the Passy Peaches, the 1 extra damage for the Confession Extractor would be enough to ensure it dies there regardless. And you set up Human Clutch here to be able to secure the kill onto the Milton, making use of the extra reach on the Confession Extractor.
Man, connecting those bounties, so good. And to think this is a 5 power body that just sticks there, and Toussaint actually cannot do anything about it properly. No. Like, you can roll Diplomacy into 5 damage, of course.
Yeah.
Around crime, and also a bit too late.
Doesn't even take the gold unit. Goes for the raw points here. Menge is a bit of a commitment.
Confession Extractor in a human form. Caleb Menge comes into play. 3 coins might be kept. But it's not. Yeah, you can just commit something and collect the Peaches bounty.
Here's the thing, like, you'd expect Divana to be really good in this matchup, right? Like, it's perfect, she can purify a bounty. Well, it doesn't matter if every time Sanvanter applies bounty, it's being collected immediately. And there's already been 4 bounties collected. This later is up to 10 damage for Sanvanter. Like, good luck sticking a Cahiel in the current form. Because the leader's just gonna kill it straight away, even with the Ale of Ancestor synergy.
Okay, more confessions to be extracted. Some money spent. Whoop. Now, specials wise, there is Sangreal, but whole city is already on your side of the board. Blue ports available as well, but the question is, do you want to? The answer is actually yes.
Yeah.
Flipping the
Justice.
Joust is an
This
answer,
might
but
have...
there is a second one. There we go.
Yes. And yeah, this might have been why this Confession Extractor was used before, to set up the Witch Hunter Executioner at 4 power to then be vulnerable after the turn ends up being played, but there's so many bounties.
Bounty Paradise. Leader already
just-
at 12.
Let's just spend 3 coins to wipe out a unit, basically. This is so sad for Ugadai, and his leader's at 13 damage. This brute is boosting itself by 9. It's already at profit 7. What is this? And there's Bruhurt not able to get ahead here.
This is a peak bounty performance. We should be happy.
Oh, okay. Plays the Ale to actually get ahead. Full series still
Well, you
boosting away.
You
one
can go
turn.
for Graydon if you want to win.
Or-
I mean, yeah.
This is really annoying. The infusion from the Ale of the Ancestors actually providing extra damage on the Teshin Rutner and ensuring that, yeah, goodbye to that full series.
What is the peak from the decree though?
Is it just like street urchins just to play something least valuable? Like, you're ahead by so much here.
Yeah.
3,
Man. It's another insane Teshnamutna sword for Sanvanter. Got one. I'm not sure how it went in the semi-final, but quarter-final and final. Bounty is just shining, baiting everyone. Play this on ladder, you definitely won't face any troubles. Your executioners will survive and you just will be collecting bounties for days.
Yeah.
Huh. So, you need targets for Buckler apparently.
You could always go Diplo, but that's not a possibility since you've already played both of your diplomacies. So we see Sundry. Oh.
Wait. Okay, I suppose so.
Uh,
The infusion only triggers when both players have passed, so...
yeah, this would do it.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, all that bounty into a loss, but you have a 14 power, 14 damage blood money leader. The artifacts are on the board, there is no proper time for either in a short round, so
No.
like pushing with this hand. Not amazing, especially when your opponent greets you with like a candle, although that can be heat waved at least.
Yeah, and look. Whatever you play first here, Sanvanter can just lead up. Because it's at 14 damage.
You are forced to mulligan.
Oh gosh. What do you even play proactively? You
Okay,
play the
there you
Kahir.
go. 10 power. 10 power Kahir, okay?
It doesn't even have an opposing unit to boost. Sanvanter just plays uninteractive. Oh my gosh.
The heat wave was mulligan, right? I'm not sure how I feel
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are on equal cards. You lost your Eivor and Heatwave somewhere in the deck. You only have Nilfgaard Knight. Ah no, that you are drawing into the deck sorted by Calvit. Okay,
Get the
not sure.
Ivor. This is so sad.
No locations, amazing.
Prejudice can carry a high price.
18
Pay.
and then profit 9, brute. I am brute.
So Sanvanter's just gonna win this game most likely without even needing to play Graydon. Hasn't even actually used a proper toll punishing the Graydon or the Heatwave here. only played Teshin Mutna, and it's just been so tough for Ugadai to get anything properly done towards the tail end of that round 1.
Yeah, okay, so Nilf Knight with a couple of Nausicaa Brigades is nice to see. There are no more bounties to collect. I don't know, there is a spender in the form of Candle, which is at times awkward, of course, but...
What do you play before the Ivar here? Do you go for the Palmerin? Or do you go for the...
Do you get a Palmerin?
You could maybe, if Sanvanter doesn't have enough coinage, you could end up Palmerining for Heatwave
You
if
kind
you
of
get
have
lucky with the
Ivor
same
problem
unit.
as well.
Demons don't speak. We're one and the same.
Yeah, that had to be the Ivar turn.
Yeah.
I miscounted the adrenaline. Couldn't even use the leader before playing Ivar. Now you have Guillaume and Palmerin with minimal toll punish to combo with them. And Sanvanter has toll finishes, which basically just going to go unanswered.
So is this a heat wave? Is anything actually getting bigger? Man, 9 profit, 15 power. And yeah, the Palmerin problem strikes again. Yeah, okay. It finally ends. I was out of words for what's happening here.
Me too.
We've seen some
That was
bounty
painful.
shenanigans. It's probably the most successful bounty I've seen in a while in the tournament, so on ladder. And now it's up to the pincer maneuver Draug Erland.
Yeah, this is a temple list, which again kinda helps or gives you this Giga and Sace in hand.
So, Self-wound has been abused many times. Here is the heat wave for one of the units. I don't think movement is influential here. You have the Unsace potentially removing, but you don't really need a big Unsace to deal with something like Knut. Boiling Oil answers Knut in its enraged form.
Movement can be kind of efficient as a priest answer, to be fair. Or at least stop it hitting on a Drakkar. But yeah, if you like, Boiling Oil can also serve as a priest answer. So big thinning coming out early for Ugadai. But these crows could be potential bodies for these revenants to clean up.
Oh, there we go. Baron as a potential Draco Turtle sequel answer. Defender. Rainer Todo was not bad for Sanvanter in the quarterfinal. So Baron, Queen Adalia, which is also big for human bodies. And Defender.
Yeah, Queen Adalia PFI is not too shabby at all.
Okay, so do we boil the priest? Not yet. You need to click temple first for that 1 extra point. And the choice is Prince Unsace here. Okay, so Sanvanter plays for
If
carryover.
Sanvanter passes at 7. Ugadai just goes long round, I assume, right?
Yeah. It will be awkward, like sure you'll get some of the revenants into graveyard, but the ones that you spawn at for power into the
Agreed. As per our
big
contract.
old swole blood, that's gonna be devastating.
Say, are his companions being played quite early here? Before any Pavetta shenanigans?
But yeah, Ugadai is not happy to say goodbye to the last say. Feels like opponent just played 3 carryover cards. I think the run with is like the biggest giveaway that no tempo plays are to be expected.
Yeah. Maybe you could have committed Anses onto a priest to get the round win there, but just didn't have anything else to sort of help in achieving that goal. That would have been quite difficult to do.
Okay, so finds Defender from those creates. And Pavetta. Pavetta, of course, doesn't really have a job to do at the moment. Her services might be required later. Okay, chat just caught up with the frustrating. It's amazing to see the reaction.
Glad there's only one person wanting to ban me for that, so I'm happy with that response.
He's just clueless. He is just unaware.
Okay, so we do see the Troll coming out here. I'll be interested to see if it does get heat waved.
Very corpses. Feed our foes to the crabs while
I
they
think
still
this is the
live.
matchup where you probably can afford to save the heat wave for something else, perhaps.
Yeah,
You
you
do
might
have Baron
want
access,
to
I
have a toll punish for, or not toll punish, but complete erasure of Sigvald, for example. And
If Anses duels the Draco Turtle, does the boost from removing armor resolve before the end of the duel? Or
I think you're not supposed to duel the Draco Turtle will be the answer, so yeah, you might be facing your demons on that, getting hit by, by the bigger monster than you'd expect to challenge. So, if I recall it correctly, I think, yeah, I've seen it happen. Definitely didn't do that myself, though.
It's just testing, right? Just myth busting and something like that.
So the heat wave is open, but yeah, Sanvanter prefers to keep it.
Doesn't even play into that round. I'm surprised. You could have set up another Revenant in the graveyard, just tossed away, say,
Yeah.
the siege support, but
True. That's a bit weird.
I guess at the same time, though, by not playing into that, you sort of have one less card you're drawing. That means one extra unit in the deck as well, so maybe it ends up balancing out.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Also, yeah, there is the Traveling Priestess in the deck. Not really getting to 25 charges, but well, you do mulligan occasionally, and sometimes you just find the consistency without the necessity of picking required cards. Although that's rarely the case, because you do have extra spicy temple creates. Muta Generator round 3 denied. I'm sad.
Yeah. I remember when Michigene was like the 6 provisions.
Yeah,
Remember
to be
that?
fair, when it was released, cards were slightly different on provisions and yeah. Then it's people tried the mutant generator quite early as well, but I don't think it was a great payoff. But maybe we all were just playing it incorrectly. But now Temple and mutant generator slightly different from their initial form.
I've had many killed for less.
So humans at the moment go to the both rows. There is of course a Dahlia with PFI if necessary. That achieves greatness. Let's not forget that the Bloody Baron was also created. Which means... yeah, exactly what it means. That it is Draco Turtle. Or Sigvald without the last say. Oh, wait, not with the last say. But anyway, one of the cards will be reset. If
Yeah.
it's not the Unsazed Duel and not the Heatwave target.
Yeah, and obligatory Ugadai has to be really careful about the placement on this Sigvald, because you don't want it next to a low power unit where the boiling oil can remove any bleeding you've established.
Okay, so we do see a Dahlia.
My great-granddaughter will do.
Stand and
It actually goes into the Cadweni Sergeant.
Yeah, so not going for PFI, I guess maybe worried about playing too heavily into the Svalbard
Yeah.
as a result. So now is the Draug. So this kid, when he's Sergeant, looks like he'll be trying to get things out of range of the 4 damage on this Svalbard. Obviously it can't boost itself, and the shield is now gone, unfortunately.
it's foul blood alone.
But,
Nothing to really eat on your opponent's side of the board. Boiling oil sadly kills instead of setting up the Knut to 1 power, but well, you still take it. And we do see that Sanvanter doesn't want to go wide by the means of damaging his own units.
That's
another one dead and another answer required for Sanvanter here, but now it's getting a bit hard because you only have 4 cards remaining. You want to play this Erland, probably want to play this Bloody Baron, but that means you need to put 2 cards back into the deck. Is the Pavetta worth it? She's basically just +4 on your Erland right now.
Okay, we see some Swole Blood explosion. Explosions denied, because, well, your Erland is not that big, and if allowed, it might have led to some unnecessary outcomes of him dying, but yeah, at 5 with only a couple of abominations appearing, it's fine.
Yep.
So, Pavetta can provide you with 4 evidence. At the same time, something like Baron at the moment doesn't look too hot, but it might just play for better value.
So I'm really curious, like, what this Alan says, what this potential Baron is going to be hitting. Because
Yeah,
you
I
guys
guess
done a
the
very good job at saving this Dwim and the location click till the very end to deny value on resetting or potentially dueling the Draco Turtle.
I think the way Ugadai played makes it hard for Sanvanter to get a victory here, even if I mean, there is like 10, 20 something points hidden in that Erland click. And at the same time there is still full blood Draco Turtle armor. Knut is surviving.
I mean, at minimum, the Sansis is still 20 points. They're denying this. Oh, it's 19 points in this case. They're opting to kill the Knut, which makes a lot of sense. I guess you may as well just go for the Dwim now, right? Because otherwise you're not getting any use out of this order. And if you're worried about that Baron, I guess it just makes the most sense to duel the and say, so that you will end up kind of losing a bit of armor there, but that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, sort of trying to turn just as much damage as you can as soon as possible here. Big Draco Turtle.
Yeah.
But those waters, I think they're going to become kind of bloody around the Draco Turtle. Bloody as in bloody Baron coming through. Goodbye Pavetta, this is not your game. Long round through doesn't really befit your game plan. Erland flick, Baron play. Substantial
That's
difference.
20 points, but so many units on Sanvanter side of the board, even if half of them are at 1-2 power. Don't think that was a particularly winnable matchup, even with the Baron roll. Sanvanter needed to most likely win round 1 and get
that
stuff
round
out.
one, and
Yep. So we got ourselves more of that NR. I'm happy to see Pavetta actually doing something as well. So, well,
I, mean, I was happy to see Pavetta in the hand not get played as well.
But Sanvanter is known to play weird decks as well. Like I remember him playing Erland deck without Erland in the deck.
Yep,
Just
I have PTSD from that.
so nothing strange. Just a simple demo event.
Yeah, Sanvanter is funny because he kind of has anti-synergy with the
Yeah.
Erland and New Zealand this deck, but
Priscilla is
you
not
can
doing
always
much
try and
here,
choose some
right?
specials.
Okay, so
Let's take
it's
the Elephant, the Prophet Leviota, and the War Elephant. I don't know if those are really the best picks against Tristont. You would have loved to have found another Baron, or even like a Varaxis or something of the sort.
weird creates here. Oh, sure.
Look, I think this is going to be another matchup in which the last say is going to be quite important, because whilst the Erland is immune, again, you can use the Toussaint Hospitality to kind of nullify it. It would be a bit awkward having to wait till, the Beauclair, wait till the last turn to play the Beauclair, but it might still just be the correct decision to make. Actually, Seems Generator played round 1 this time, a little bit of a different sequencing. Maybe Sanvanter says, A, I can actually win the round, or B, blue card, I need to actually contest.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many Mutant Generator good triggers he had in the previous game in his hand. So
Yeah, it's true.
maybe just playing it and not having enough playable bronzes was the deciding factor here. But yeah, playing Temple, playing Mutant Generator for 0 tempo in the beginning is not amazing. Okay, let's see what demo events banishes are.
Makes a lot of sense. Open deck list, there's nothing that can be done against the Dem event.
I mean, you can also just
all.
zeal him.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
that's...
I guess Sanvanter is ahead of us and planned accordingly.
Although, I feel like if you sequence this differently, you could have just used the melee to reduce the cooldown, and I think you end up ahead, regardless, the melee deploy. Oh, but then you play it melee and you lose out on your boost regardless, I suppose. Then maybe it's not as good. Curious what this demo event is going to find. I imagine it will be PFI.
In winning, not persist.
Nope. Okay. Iris' companions. What do I know?
Okay, so it goes for the hero over starter.
Beware the man of glass.
Yeah. So. Unknown Iris again. And the pass coming through early on. But this time it's Ugadai passing at 7, not Sanvanter.
Yeah, so plate what? 1 bronze, plate 8 provision unit that buffed Pavetta, that buffed Lebioda, so a couple of extra points coming in.
So, do you bleed here? Well, we see a Skrill to start with. That does not mean anything. You at least will play the Ronvid the Incessant here, at a minimum, to establish that carryover. Bit surprised that it was the Skrill as the lead. Oh no, it makes sense. You get rid of the Boo-Hurt to play around the full series. Okay, sure.
Boo-Hurt got eliminated. But I guess nothing stopped you from like run with Squirrel, but doesn't really matter too much. And maybe you are trying to heatwave Ale of Ancestors if that lands.
Yeah.
Don't buy this.
Okay. Or you just push with the tech cards Squirrel into the Scout. And now?
So surely Sanvanter is intending to push here, otherwise you would have just played Ronvid instead of the Scout.
That seems like the logical conclusion indeed.
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so decision time. We see the highlight on Ronvid, but it doesn't mean anything. What's leader potentially bringing out? You need Radovid to get another leader charge.
Yeah, look, I imagine the plan is to try to get an early pass here, perhaps, by forcing out some of the early combo pieces like this Milton, which is slightly slower for play right now. Not quiet enough to get ahead.
Do we see a leader? Would be nice to have the last say.
Yeah, it would be nice to have the lead for sure.
You also need a Boo-Hurt in the graveyard anyway, if you want to do the series things. Okay, so yeah, leader committed as well.
Well, the thing is, using the leader there now means you can't one-turn the full series.
Yeah.
So that is vulnerable to a transform with the Draug, potentially. Although, yeah, there's no access to full series in hand regardless right now.
Okay, so Elephant Gaming. Card goes stall, so probably not getting much out of it anyway. In the next round. Could have played it next to the Squirrel and actually damaged the Squirrel. Of course the cooldown 6 doesn't allow you to do that like every turn.
No.
So it's not that amazing.
So, Guillaume coming out onto the Squirrel. Instead of fighting with Shaelmars, it looks like Guillaume's decided to try to get used to fighting squirrels instead.
What a
Interesting
knight.
playing on the front row rather than back row when, you know, the back row is the row that actually has knights. Not sure on
Yeah, there is the
reasoning though.
condition of extra boost. You know, sometimes players just don't read entire text. They know the effect. Oh, you boost, I boost, and then you just forget about the details. Same as the armored Drakkar in the self wound. People forgetting that you can activate its bloodthirst condition. But yeah, I'm not implying that Ugadai just maybe you just forgot it. It happens.
That happens. So that was the oil for Sanvanter being played. Not really achieving much. Which is a bit surprising, you know, when you pour boiling oil on someone's head, you'd expect a bit more of a reaction. But yeah, this Milton just happily riding along.
And it just didn't get any into the helmet. It just bounced off it. So by to Santos steel produce.
Yeah, high quality steel, huh? Good.
Okay, pure Elephanto. Never sees play from hand created from temple, and then there is a drought and no water to elephants.
Yeah. Okay, so certainly getting a little bit dicey now for Ugadai. I'm a bit surprised, in all honesty, that we saw the Heatwave committed before the Ivar. Maybe a bit worried that the Ivar would present too good of a Heatwave, but I don't think the Ivar would be an Ansei's target because it would just be too big. Or would it?
I mean, yeah, 25. Not ideal to duel, probably, with the full team.
Yeah. I think it would be pretty good if it was like from Tavern Brawl, kind of using a 14 to hit the Ivar at 25. They'll do like quite a bit of a back and forth, but when you're the one actually dueling an opponent, that's not really what you want. So you see the Profeta now coming out, putting the...
I spy with my evil eye.
Was there even anything to put? Wasn't it like siege support?
Huh. So, last say now for the Beauclair player.
The gameplay is not working out properly for Sanvanter, I'd say.
No. Game plan hasn't really, you know, gone to plan, it feels. There's not been much of a round one in either of these games. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Draug just used to answer this false Siri, potentially. As a result, we might see the false Siri getting mulliganed, but that is not the case. Decides to just lead with the Diplo, I suppose. Kind of saying, okay, if you want to use your Draug turn 1, so be it, but then you're not transforming anything else.
And it's also an answer. Oh! Ale of Ancestors on your own unit. Peculiar.
Yeah.
If you don't deal with False City, of course the Sangreal is one of the cards that that works with it.
Yeah. Probably just an instant proc as a result. But I'm not I don't like how Ugadai played this front row, because, you know, the Draug naturally has an extra transform if this leader ends up being used in this first turn.
And since there is nothing to find in the deck, nothing too good. They can be just burnt now. Like, there is no flexibility in terms of, oh, I might need this card or that card in particular. So, yeah, provided an extra 1 power body as well.
Yeah, bit of a misplay there, especially because There's not that many Revenants for Sanvanter. That 1 power body is very nice. Transform Order, I guess, Carabalista slightly nullifying that, but probably would have been nice to just, you know, just actually kill this Revenant as the only Revenant.
Not the greatest pickup there from Palmerin, but Milton left him, so there was no choice given. Also, the opportunities are not that exciting anyway. Oh, Ronwith coming up. There we go. 1 Revenant on the board, and no answer for that. Of course, on the opposite side, well, there is no Erlando. So this is something. I didn't look at the mulligans. Was Erland actually actively sent away?
I'll have them killed for less.
Ah, wait, yeah.
Hey.
There was the... Sorry, I just tunnel visioned into not looking for the Radovich.
Alright.
My
I'm just trying to think, what is a Sangreal going to do? You don't have great things for it to work with here.
Well, Leclerc.
Yeah, but... Nah.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, at least it's like 12 points.
I'm just thinking, like, are you better off saving the Beauclair to sort of nullify the Erland? Or I guess you're better off playing it early, and then you're forced to use this Beauclair auto reset on the Draug as well, if that's what you end up boosting up. And yeah, Ugadai severely misplayed here by letting the Revenant stick here by playing the 4-3 front row. Especially with the Carabalista row, you could have cleaned up all the Revenants from that Draug, but it's just slightly gotten out of hand, probably a 10-point difference, and that's it.
Okay, so that was fast.
Yeah. So congrats to Sanvanter getting one of the Northern Realms. I still don't think we really got to see that deck at its full capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, the threat of the
sad.
Erland still quite big, and Ugadai not able to directly deal with the Erland, struggling to deal with the Revenants, ends up losing 3-1 here in the final game of this top 8 qualifier.
And we have
Well,
our
the Gwent
lineup
Challenger.
repeated from Gwent Open number 1 to Gwent Challenger, same 4 players go. So Mayamon, Lirio, Nequiz, and now Sanvanter. Sanvanter also gets the payday basically by this win, securing at least $125 plus crowdfund pool. So what were we qualifying for? Let me just bring the tournament page. So Challenger is now set. The prize pool is $1,000 plus we got $240 in crowdfund pool. Well, there is still a month if you ever consider, if you get your salary payday and want to commit some of it to Gwent, you can find the links in chat. You can ask around for those if there are troubles finding it. But yeah, crowdfund pool will be given out to the 4 challenger participants at 50, 30 and 10% splits. But yeah, securing the place on the tournament already gives you $125 plus percentage. So that would be the next event, and it's happening on July 13. The location of the stream will be discussed. The casters will be announced as well, because yeah, there are some, I probably won't be able to stream it, but maybe I can join for a cast, and then maybe Lemon is available for that. You mentioned that you are probably back, so. But yeah, the Discord is available. Information will be shared. It was exciting weekend. Some spicy lists. I was expecting more warriors because, well, in top 4 people didn't really believe in warriors, thought they will be countered. But after everyone brought the counters and nobody brought warriors, maybe somebody in top 8 would have tried to get to squeeze them in. Answer is no. Even with the overbuff, they are not a consideration for the tournament play because they still fall apart quite easily. Unlike Devotion Harmony from Sanvanter, which was also unusable.
Yeah, I think the difference is like Devotion Harmony has a much better time winning the round 1 compared to Warriors. That even though you're Devotion, you have less strong tools. You just have enough raw points that if in certain matchups, if need be, you can just push the opponent. If you push them enough, you shake them enough of their good things come out, and they're not left with enough to really make it up.
Yeah. Also, one thing that we didn't really mention, or at least I forgot yesterday, is that Community Masters 2025 were announced as well. So the ladder play, the tournament structure is not going anywhere, supported by the greatest Gwent admin of all time, Matol. So yeah, another reason for maybe crowdfunding is that the man is just committing for another year of running the Gwent events, so barring any difficulties from CDPR side,